Back with more on the brutal beating of a Florida teen. Today, 8 boot camp staffers were charged with manslaughter. Judge Alex Ferrer of the syndicated show Judge Alex has more on the criminal case, and Sheriff Joe Arpaio from Maricopa County, Arizona. Judge Ferrer, it does make me think we're watching something that must have occurred 40, 50 years ago. This is that kind of incident on its face, and we may learn differing facts, but on its face, sounds too collusive for me, between the behavior of the guards, the response of the nurse, the findings of the medical examiner, the discharge of the top law enforcement officer in this for at least allegedly racist emails about the incident. Very uncomfortable situation.
Well, it certainly doesn't smell right. I mean, like the sheriff said, I'm not one to rush to judgment, because we all tend to do that, especially when a child dies. Children shouldn't die, and when they die in the custody of law enforcement or corrections, the immediate feeling is there's some wrongdoing. And when you see this video, they take him violently down to the ground. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if he was resisting. You can't really tell from the officers that are blocking, but I have a feeling that it's all going to come out during the trial, and if it turns out that through their culpable negligence that child is dead, then they should be going to prison, because that's manslaughter.
And what do you do with a case like this sitting on the bench? Because it is one of those instances where defense counsel are going to be trying to move for a change of venue. They're going to talk about all of the political uproar, and they're right, but it's also one of those cases that's now a national story, and it's pretty hard to move to a county down the road and get away from that.
Well, the reality is I handled many, many high-profile cases, and venue issues rarely result in cases rarely result in a change of venue, because you can usually deal with it by jury selection. I never had to move a case, and I had some really highly publicized cases. So I think during jury selection, they'll be able to deal with that. But I wanted to tell you something, though. This should not be an indictment on all boot camps. Boot camps do have their problems. But, for example, Miami has what I think is the role model boot camp for the entire United States. They have like a 6% recidivism rate, and in the last year they've had one use of force report, and that was to break up a fight between 2 inmates. So, it's unfortunate that this gives a black eye to boot camps, but I've sent so many people to boot camp over the years, and I can't tell you the satisfaction I get when somebody stops me in public and says to me, "You saved my life. I was in a gang, I was doing this, I was doing that, I was on my way to prison, and boot camp turned me around, and now I'm married, I have children, and I have a career."
Yeah. Well, Sheriff, doesn't that go back to sort of the adage that it